Peace be upon you, grade 7. Last lesson we started working on page 68, vocabulary. So today we're going to continue working on the same page. I would like you to open your student's book on this page, which is 68. We still have 3 tasks to do. Task number 3, 4, and 5, and we're directly starting with task number 3, which is describing food. So first we want to know what is the meaning of describing food. I would like you to imagine that you and your family will go to a restaurant, and after having a meal there, the waiter or the waitress will come to your table and ask you, did you like the food? Your answer is going to include a description of the food you had. So for example, if you had something that has no flavor, you would say the food was bland, which means that the flavor is not strong. If there is too much salt, you would say it's salty. If it's too sweet, you will say it's sweet. It has a lot of sugar in there. So the meaning of describing food, that we are using adjectives to describe the food that we are eating or the food that we like. Right now we will start with a task, and here we have to match the words in bold with definitions. And of course, you know the meaning of bold right now. I told you it's a type of font which is darker than the others. And here we have 6 sentences. Each of these sentences include one word, and this word is written in bold, like bland, sweet, tender, fresh, salty, and lean. On the other side, we have the definitions of these words. So we have to read the sentences, and reading the whole sentence will help you to figure out the meaning of these words in bold. The first one is already done, but we will read it together. I think pasta is bland, and the definition of the word bland is it doesn't have a strong taste. This is the meaning of this word, which is in bold. Sentence number 2. She likes very sweet tea. She likes very sweet tea. So the meaning of the word sweet is that she likes to drink this tea with lots of what? What is the name of the ingredient that you add to the drinks to make them taste sweet? So the meaning of sweet is with a lot of sugar. The word sweet must be matched with the definition, which is F. Number 3. This meat is very tender. We always see this word in food adverts whenever we go to a restaurant or anywhere, like it's written tender meat, tender chicken. So the meaning of the word tender is it is easy to cut. Tender means it is easy to cut. Match it with A. Number 4. The bread here is always fresh. When you go to a bakery and you are able to smell like some baked bread, this means that this bread is baked freshly. So what is the meaning of the word fresh? Try to think of the correct answer. It means that they made it in a very short time ago. Fresh, match it with B. Number 5. The food he cooks is always salty. So this adjective, salty, we can get the word salt out of it. What is the meaning of salt? When the food is salty, this means that it contains lots of what? Match it with the correct definition. The correct answer or definition of the adjective salty is C. There is a lot of salt. The last sentence is he prefers lean meat. He prefers lean meat. When you want to eat something without fat, this is the meaning of lean meat. So the correct answer or definition of the word lean is D, without fat. Now I want you to check your answers. So the definition of the word bland is E, it doesn't have a strong taste. And then the definition of the word sweet, it means with a lot of sugar. Match it with F. Number 3 is the word tender, which means it is easy to cut. Match it with A. Number 4 is the word fresh, means they made it a very short time ago. Number 5 is the word salty, which means there's a lot of salt, C. And the last one is lean meat, which means without fat, D. Now let's move to task number 4, which is ways of cooking. So what is the meaning of ways of cooking? It means how this food is cooked. What are the methods used to make this food? Is it fried, grilled, baked, whatever? So in this task, we have some verbs here. In this blue box, we have fry, grill, bake, boil, and roast. And these verbs are used in different kinds of cooking, so we need to match them with the pictures that we have here. So now I want you to look at the pictures that we have and try to guess the verb that is matched with these pictures. So the first one, we have a pan and we have an egg in there. When we do the egg in this way, what do we call the way we cook it? Fry an egg. Fry an egg. The second one, we have some bread. So what do we do with the bread? We will have a dough, and then we will put this dough in the oven. So what do we call the method of cooking the bread? Try to think of the answer. Then in picture number 3, we have a chicken inside an oven. Number 4, we have some eggs inside of a boiling water. So when we cook food in a boiling water, what do we call the way we are cooking this food in? The last one, we have slices of steak. We have some flames in there. What do we call it? Stop the video, please. Think of the correct answers, and then we will check together. Okay, so the first picture is fry, to fry. Number 2 is bake. So we always bake the breads, cakes, whatever. Number 3, roast, roast a chicken. Number 4, boil eggs, because we have eggs in here. And the last one, grill. Now let's move to task number 5. And here we have a question. how do you usually cook the food in the pictures in your country? So have a look at the pictures we have on page 68. We have 5 pictures. The question is, how do you usually cook the eggs, for example? We have 2 methods here of cooking the eggs. The first one in picture number 1 is to fry the eggs, and the second one is to boil them. What is the method or the way of cooking this food in your country? I believe that we use both of them. How do we cook the, for example, the meat? We can have it roasted, we can have it grilled. So we can say that we use all of the methods to cook our food. Now open your workbooks please on page 61. This is how the page looks like, and we're going to continue working on the tasks that is left, which is task number 4 and task number 5. Our main focus is going to be on task number 4, which is describing food. So let's move to this task. Complete the text with the words in the box. So inside this box we have 5 adjectives that are used to describe the food, and we have learned the same adjectives on task number 3 on your student's book. The same, exactly the same, but here we have a text, a short one, that we have to read it and then to put these adjectives in the correct place. I'm gonna start reading this, and this text talks about pasta. A lot of people say the pasta hasn't got a taste. They say it's dash. So when we say that something doesn't have a taste or the flavor is not that strong, what is the correct adjective that is used to describe this kind of food? The correct answer is bland. A lot of people say the pasta hasn't got a taste. They say it's bland, but I don't agree. Let's move to the other sentence. Dash pasta from a shop that makes pasta every day has got a good taste. So when you make something in a very short time, what do we call this kind of food? When you go to a bakery and you're able to smell the fresh smell of bread, the correct adjective to put here is fresh pasta from a shop that makes pasta every day has got a good taste. And of course, you have to put lots of salt in the water when you cook it so that it's quite dash. When you put too much salt in something, what do we call it? We call it salty. So you also have to be very careful to cook it on the right time. It has to be dash. Think of the adjective while I'm reading. It has to be tender. You have to be very careful to cook it for the right time. It has to be tender. If you can't cut it with your teeth easily, it's horrible. You can also use some pasta to make dash dishes with sugar. When you add sugar to something, we call it sweet. So the correct answer is sweet. You can also use some pasta to make sweet dishes with sugar. In fact, you can use it for lots of different meals. Now check the answers and put the adjectives in the correct place in this text. The first one is bland, the second one fresh, the third one salty, the fourth one tender, and the fifth one sweet. And here I brought you a picture of some types of pasta. You can read it later on. And now we will move to your homework. which is going to be task number 5, ways of cooking. Read it and put the answers. It's quite easy. The same thing on page 68 on your student's book, task number 4. You have to use the 5 verbs and put them in the correct place. That's it for today. All the best.